Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's Cousins' Redskins going up against Newton's Panthers.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to the Carolinas and Bank of America Stadium here in Uptown Charlotte. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Washington Redskins and the Carolina Panthers. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their quarterback and none other than Cam Newton.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
They go play action here on first down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. They'll run. This is Jonathan Stewart. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
Hey, let's make it a long game.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Draw play, Newton to Stewart. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Now a first down throw for Newton. And the Redskins do get to him. He goes down for a sack. Trent Murphy in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
They'll set up the screen for Stewart. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A good job defensively to hold that to 4 yards, and now it's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Newton. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Washington... Offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. Very tough spot here for the offense to start. First carry for Samaje Perine. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish? Holding that to a minimal gain.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
And the Panthers bring in their nickel set as they try to defend here on 3rd down.
5 defensive backs. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And Reed with it over the middle. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood what the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football, got to him, and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
Carolina getting set to take the field. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. Second down, they run with Stewart. And that is what you call a hit stick. Put down to the ground hard. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. Give him 30 yards there. We often, with Cam Newton, talk a lot about his legs. Don't forget about that arm.
He can throw it on a rope. He can loft it. He's got the touch that's been developed throughout his career. But the big part about just watching him throw it, it seems almost effortless.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. A look at the numbers from last week for Olsen. 9 catches, 99 yards.
And that touchdown was his first of the year, and you know he's eager to get more of those.
Now Newton on first down. And to the tight end Olsen, right side. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little game. Now Stewart on first down. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Jonathan Stewart, his second touchdown on the season. And the Panthers are going to take a first-quarter lead. And this will be good to give the Panthers a 7-0 lead. An update from Buffalo. And it's the Browns out to the early advantage. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. On the return, it's Niall Davis. And he's going to be taken down on what will be the final play of this first quarter, as he'll take over with the ball 1st and 10. The drive starts with a handoff to Pirine, and he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, and hit them over the top.
Second down, Cousins. And the connection made to Terrell Pryor. And he's into the clear. Touchdown, Washington. Terrell Pryor with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Redskins are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And nothing too crazy there. A quick slant, and then he just had a seam. He found a seam.
And when you hit it on the run like that, and I mean the pass right to the receiver who's already in motion and moving, sometimes he just takes it and runs away from everyone else.
And he ran it into the end zone. And the defense, they've got to adjust there quickly. That's tough on them.
That's really tough because everything was executed well. Ball was out of his hands quickly, into the hands of the receiver, and then he was gone.
This fielded at the 2. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back. Carolina getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. 7 yards on the carry. Make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And he slides to avoid the hill. 5 yards on the play there. It's a drive will continue. Newton gives off to Stewart. And some room to maneuver. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
That's Samuel, caught left side. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
From the gun on third down. Newton, and an alley to run. And he's brought down, but following a pretty juke move that gives him the first down. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. Now the Auburn alum, Artis Payne. And a short gain down to about the 33. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Newton turns and hands to Stewart. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Throwing on third down, Newton. Spins away. They find some open field here. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. We're just 2 minutes away from sending you to Orlando for Larry Ridley in our EA Sports halftime report, so don't forget about that coming up shortly.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a halftime without him, but we thank him for doing the highlights. Let's go get a snack.
And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a first down when you want 3. Get a little bit closer, making an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
Around the NFL, they're in the second in Philly, and the Eagles out in front early. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Here's Terrell Pryor now as his guys head back out onto the field. Creeping up on 1,000, could get there on this drive. So a challenge for him to do that, but also defensively, maybe a challenge for them to not allow that.
And that means probably kicking even more coverages to his side. And what that really means is wherever he lines up, you will have a cornerback over in his area. Now, instead of blitzing your linebacker, drop him into coverage. Instead of the safety dropping into regular coverage, that safety moves into that area to try and discourage the quarterback from going to him. That means everyone else, win your routes. You've got an opportunity to catch passes now, too.
Yeah, a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Play action for P-Ryan. Now Cousins. Pryor has it complete. And all the way down to the 26. A big play there just before halftime. 51 yards.
Trying to defend a drag route is really tough because you don't want to jump a route that's shorter or underneath as the drag route is too quickly, because oftentimes they want to run that route and then hit over the top of you for bigger yardage. So if you can chip off the timing of the receiver off the line of scrimmage so he can't actually get into the route, that's the best way to defend it. But there was no possibility of that on that play. End result, receiver won in a big way.
Cousins a handoff. This is P-Ryan. Had a nice broken tackle and then brought down right around the 20. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now Cousins. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Jamison Crowder, as the first half is winding down, and the Redskins have taken the lead. So they're able to capture the lead here just before halftime.
And not only that, they get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
This is almost like basketball down the stretch, right, where you get the 2-for-1 situation where you try and get 2 shots to your opponent's 1. In this situation, they got the touchdown. They'll get another shot at to start the second half.
Could be a big turnaround. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. So the D-line's going to spread out. Now Newton. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. Eric Decker, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. A play fake to Stewart. It's Newton. Uses the stiff arm. And now running right through it. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. A final shot before the break. Newton. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here's Terrell Pryor now as his guys head back out onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They start on the ground with P-Ryan. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. Second down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now a second down throw for Cousins. And that is incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
On third down, Cousins. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
But no second guessing the call here. It was third and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
Second and 10, Newton again. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The intended target that time was Jonathan Stewart, and it's third down. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call or get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot. And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Jones on the return. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Again, here's P. Ryan. Room here to run. And now look at him go. Past the 20. Touchdown, Washington. A great effort there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Redskins are going to add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Carolina getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
What's tight? Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right.
Now a 10th carry for Jonathan Stewart. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run it. Here's Stewart. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either. I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. It's Pirine to begin the drive, and he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Throwing, Cousins, and his throw's going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Josh Malone, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach and incomplete. The Redskins on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. From the gun, here's Cousins. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
Elsewhere, 2nd half is underway up in Orchard Park. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. A great return there of 22 yards. And the Panthers will take over now 1st and 10. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. Jonathan Stewart now gearing up to go on offense as he takes the field. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we...
He can't avoid the pressure. Redskins get there. Jonathan Allen coming up the middle. Gets him there for a loss of about 9. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Call it a 6-yard gain. Still plenty of work to do coming up. 3rd and 14.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Third and long, it's Newton. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Ryan Kerrigan in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Here's Jones. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Checking things elsewhere. Third quarter now from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Remember to keep an eye on the ticker, of course, at the bottom of your screen for updates on that game and others around the NFL. Cousins gives this to Pirine. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
So 2nd and 10 here. They'll need to get the play off quickly.
Delay of game, offense.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
They'll run again with Pirine. And he's got some space here. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there. 82 yards. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Elsewhere at Arrowhead, they're in the third quarter. The Chiefs have extended their lead in that one, and we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They start on the ground. This is Stewart on first. And good pressure defensively to stop him for a loss of a couple. Now there's also a flag to go with it. Now, they had stopped him for a loss on the run anyway, so they'll decline that.
It's almost a good psychological advantage, isn't it? You created a penalty, and you still couldn't gain yards against us. No way we need to take that one.
180.
Following the penalty, here's Stewart. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the fourth and final quarter of play. The Panthers on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 14. From the gun, here's Newton. And able to find Decker. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A very solid gain of 27. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Throwing is Newton. And now escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
To throw on second down is Newton. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Curtis Samuel, the one he was looking for. And it's third down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
The Panthers on third down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This will be third and a mile. Out of the gun, Newton. Looking for Benjamin, but it's intercepted. Picked up by DJ Swearinger, and they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now a carry for Pirine, and he'll get this down only to about the 46. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Here's Pirine. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now Cousins. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Here's Tressway now. He's been terrific so far. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Key tight end. Hey, got 3.
Here's Newton now on second down. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Decker. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Greg Olsen was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. A little too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
On 2nd and 10, Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. They're giving those short little routes. Tackled him in bounds, too. They're just not wanting to get beat over the top.
Yeah, and if you can't really get downfield, take the short routes. But now you got to have guys who can actually break tackles and increase those gains.
They'll set up the screen for Stewart. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers, they're able to draw a bit closer. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And this is going to be covered up by the Redskins. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A good pick up there of 20 yards. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Now Pirine, and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. So we've got a 2nd and 5. They'll run it here with Pirine. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause of the action. A timeout here defensively. And he'll give it here to his running back. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they're going to stop him here short of the goal line with the flag down. Well, this could set up a very interesting decision.
Offense.
That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Now a flag comes in from the umpire after a gain of about 4. And this looks like it's going to be holding.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let them know right away I'm throwing it. I'm probably giving my quarterback some room, sprint him out to one side or the other, and give him an opportunity. If it breaks down, he can take off and run for it.
And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Only able to pick up a yard, and that's going to leave him with a long 4th and goal.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. A 4th quarter score, meanwhile, from Kansas City. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. And this one is right down Broadway. And that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the 4th.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give him some breathing room and lets him build up a little cushion.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And the Panthers coming out now. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
And they got the hook up. This is Olsen. And he's brought down after a good gain. 23 yards on the play. And he'll spike it with 16 seconds remaining. Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. From the 50, Newton. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the game-sealing play from Josh Norman. What a big one that was.
He's a guy that loves being the center of attention. And I think to play that position, you have to have that feeling because oftentimes you will be isolated out there against some of the best the game has to offer. And how about him finishing off this one with a game-clinching interception?
A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Washington, the win is their 8th on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the New York Giants.